Hello, my friends. Well, here we are, 2018. Back in 2015, Canada was subject to the greatest deception possible, the Great Canadian Deception. In 2015, the Liberal Party of Canada promised the people of Canada 4 fundamental, foundational principles for their electoral platform. They promised the people, first, that their government would be open and transparent. Secondly, they promised that their government would be accountable to the people of Canada. Accountable. They promised, and this was a good one, tax reform that would help the middle class. And lastly, they said, and this is Trudeau's words, that he will ask the 1% elite to contribute more. And those were the 4 fundamental promises that Trudeau made to Canadians to get himself elected in 2015. Now, he's broken all 4 of those promises, and quite badly. First of all, when it comes to asking the 1% to pay more, well, I guess he asked. They said no. He said, well, then I guess we'll forget about it. Well, here's the thing. When the Paradise Papers were released, there were many Canadian names released in those documents. People like Galen Weston Jr. of Loblaws was one of the people taking advantage of these tax havens. It also turns out that Trudeau's personal best friend and the head of the finance committee for the Federal Liberal Party of Canada, Stephen Bronfman, his name was quite prominent in those papers. So what did he do? He said, oh, hey, I talked to my good friend Stephen. He told me that he's innocent, and that's good enough for me. And he went to the Canadian Revenue Agency and told them not to bother investigating Stephen Bronfman and to not do an in-depth investigation of all the names mentioned in the Paradise Papers. He put an end to an investigation by a House of Commons committee. He put an end to that. And here's the thing. While he's nickel and diming everyone to death, and while he's actually increasing the taxes on people, he's turning his back on hundreds of millions of dollars in tax evasion money. Now, we're talking some serious Canadian revenue here that he just turns his back on because it belongs to the wealthy 1%. Now, here's another part of the thing. Don't look too deep into the Paradise Papers. You'll probably find the Trudeau family in there in a numbered company. The elites like to use shell companies that are numbered, so you need a subpoena to find out who's on the board of directors or who the owners are. So that's how one of the many loopholes they take advantage of. And those are the things that they don't want the people to know. So there goes Promise 1 about the wealthy contributing more. Well, he said he'd ask. They said no. He said okay. Next thing was tax fairness for the middle income. Now, where's the tax fairness when by 2019, the Fraser Institute calculates middle-class families will be paying $2,200 or more extra each year in taxation? Okay, that's not taking into account the carbon tax. Okay, that's another money grab. And there's going to be GHST or GST on top of the carbon tax. So that's tax on a tax. So just get a rough idea what's shaking down here. He decided not through the Paradise Papers to investigate his wealthy elite friends. Through tax reform, he didn't help the middle class. He actually gouged them more. And now we'll go to accountability. Pillar number 3. Okay, of the 4 pillars of the Liberal Party of Justin Jihad Trudeau. Now, pillar number 3 was accountability. Now, this is from a prime minister who has had 4 ethics violations found against him. Now, this will not be investigated. The Liberal Party holds a majority in the Ethics Committee. When they put forward a motion to invite the Prime Minister to come and explain his 4 ethical violations, the committee voted that motion down through a Liberal majority. So we'll never have any accountability. The Ethics Commission and the Ethics Commissioner is a joke. It is taxpayers' waste of money for nothing but window dressing on a democracy that snubs its nose at us, that quite literally could care less what the average Canadian, the average taxpayer has to say, or what we go through. That doesn't matter to people like Trudeau. So, no accountability, and that's by his doing. And I can bet you anything, now that the Liberals have appointed someone to be the new commissioner, the new ethics commissioner, that person will find that perhaps Bill Morneau, the finance minister, he was maybe in violation too, but that won't go anywhere like Trudeau because the ethics committee, controlled by Liberals, won't do anything. The fines are a joke. You're talking about some of the richest people in the country holding these positions, like Morneau, and the fines range from $100 to $500 maximum. Now, tell me that isn't laughing at Canadians. Tell me that isn't another abuse of our ethics system. It's a joke and it should be rehashed, should be completely reconstructed from the ground up so that it serves the public. The last thing, I'm sorry, I'm choking on it, was the accountability after that came openness and transparency. Well, you know that hasn't happened. You know that Motion M103 is designed to stop people from complaining about Islamophobia, stop complaining about the Islamic invasion. That is an infringement of freedom of speech guaranteed in our Charter of Rights and Freedoms that he is now violating against the will of the people of Canada. So what else is new about this government saying that it's accountable, saying that it's open and transparent? By the way, Freedom of Information has, the whole office has decided to slow down the pace at which they process Freedom of Information requests. So it'll take much longer for you to find out exactly what's going on behind the scenes. And that's not accountability. That's not transparency. That's not openness. No tax reform that would help the middle class. Paradise Papers don't investigate. Don't go after the hundreds of millions of dollars in illegally tax evasion schemes that take people to other countries, take the money and wealth out of our country. Don't go after that. So he has broken and shattered into pieces, absolute rubble, the 4 pillars of his election platform. Those were his 4 promises that he swore to Canadians that his government would be different. His government would be something special. Well, boy, has it ever, perhaps he meant it. It's not particularly special unless you're, per se, immigrant, illegal immigrant. If you're a Muslim, man, you're just doing wonderful. But if you're a Canadian, born and lived and raised here, family born and lived and raised here, he's just destroying this country, doing his best to turn Canada into an Islamic state. So he's going to be terribly shocked. He only has 18 more months to go before we decide he's out of here. He's messing with the Immigration Act. He's now messing with the voter requirements for voting in federal elections. He's extending it to expatriates, which means people who don't even live in Canada, people who don't have a say in what's going on because they're not here. He's going to extend the vote to them. Now, where else is that going to go? I know where he's going to go. He's going to extend the vote to non-citizens, to immigrants that are not Canadian citizens. He's going to extend the vote to them. So by 2019, he's going to pander and patronize and manipulate and abuse his power and his authority as Prime Minister some more and turn us into an Islamic state. So you can just tell exactly where they're taking us. Now, I am a patriot. My friends are patriots. And we are not going to stand by and watch this happen. So, good luck, Justin Jihad. You're not going to ruin Canada. You are going to be a footnote in history, the great Canadian deception, orchestrated by Justin Jihad Trudeau and put down by the people of Canada who love democracy and love freedom. So good luck to you. You're going to be unemployed soon, and we'll see you later, alligator. Now, that's my thoughts for the day to the friends of mine out there. Now, watch your back, protect yourselves out there, and remember, Canada belongs to Canadians. Take care and have a great day.